Here with Cassandra. Now, Cassandra, everybody called Brittany the Queen last season. I feel like you might be the Empress of this season. What do you think?
Well, I agree. If someone wants to call me an empress, go ahead. I won't stop you.
So tell me how much prep you did. Like, I remember when the bios first came out and everybody was reading your bio and I was analyzing it. I'll be honest with you, I was just like, first week, she's gone.
Everyone thought that.
And so, like, tell me a little bit more sort of about, like, your strategy going in and how much prep you did, because I think that surprised everyone.
I mean, I'm a fan of the show. I've watched every season and know the game and know you have to lie, manipulate, blah, blah, blah. And going in, my strategy was to make an alliance with one person, which I did. I actually had two with Tim and Joel with 100% trust there. And I knew that I would be underestimated and would use that to my advantage. Like, I always thought, okay, you know what? I want this person to think I'm a weak player, so they'll take me farther in the game. And if I get to final two, I'll say, no, I did this, this, and this, and then win. So I actually like that people underestimated me.
I feel like you sort of played the game. Like, everybody says to me, like, what do you think about this season? And I always say to them that, I loved it, but I felt like not a lot of people took ownership of their game. No. And I felt like you did. Like, you went into DR and you're like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use tiers. I'm going to try and, like, convince Tim to throw it for me. Right. Why do you think that you were the only one who sort of took ownership of what you were doing?
I don't know. I mean, that's why I asked the brothers in the finale the question of, what was your best lie? You sat across the table and said, I'm a liar, I'm this and that. That's Big Brother. Are we playing the honesty game? Because I'm confused. Maybe I'm on the wrong show. But it's like they're always hiding behind their game. Like, just own up to it and say what you're doing. And I think that's how I got out of the Joel week when I was up against him, because I always took ownership. And he was also doing the same moves I was doing since the Freak Show Alliance. We worked together. And when I, kind of build his game to the rest of the house, that's what ended his game. And that's because he didn't take ownership. And I think that's a fault. I think that's a negative.
I think so too. I thought that your vote was very surprising as well. Like, you had this whole, like, love-hate thing with the brothers. You obviously lied to them. How much of your vote for them to win was based on guilt for lying to them about whether you were going to use the veto or not?
Oh, there was no guilt. I loved using the veto. That was one of my favorite moves of the game. I found it so hilarious. And the aftermath of them wanting to put themselves on the block was wonderful. I wish they did. No, there was no guilt. It was, at the end of the day, I wanted Tim to win it in that final three situation. When it was the brothers and Kelsey, I was in a sticky situation. I didn't know who to vote for. I didn't really care for either of them to win. And at that point, I listened to their speeches, and both of them didn't give me the answers I wanted. And when I think of who do I want to see represent this season, I see, the internationals, I see myself and then I see the brothers, because I think they were, kind of a big part of this. I just saw them more of a winner than Kelsey at the end of the day.
I saw you sort of talking to the jury right before the vote, and I was just like, oh man, I'm like, I saw you. You were like, you're voting. Yeah. Is that how it went down?
Still trying to control everything, even at the jury, and I was like, hey, brothers, and I knew we had the votes for the brothers. I just had to control the vote. I'm in the game up until that finale when they crowned the brothers, so I wanted to play right till the end.
I thought that you might go for the whole girl power angle with Kelsey. Was that ever a consideration, or was it just like...
It 100% could have been this whole game. I was always girl power, let's stick together, because I hated that cattiness at the beginning. And, I was never a part of that, I don't think. I'll have to watch back, but I never fed into it. Even when I was HOH, I wasn't going to put Joel up as a replacement or Tim, and it was between Jared and Kelsey. And I just didn't want to put Kelsey up because, that girl power thing. And I always had her back throughout this game, and I think she'll go back and watch and see that I did. In situations where she was up on the block, I was the one to have her back and, got Raul up to get him out instead of her. And even when she was on the block, the first time when she got evicted, I was one of the two votes. It was me and Jared that voted for her to stay, just to give her that, whenever the rest of the girls were against her. So that did come into play, but I just didn't see her game as a winning game.
Was there any part of you that was considering cutting Tim? Like, you had this alliance with him, but surely somebody who knows the game as well as you do knew that he was probably, there was a good chance he'd smoke you in that final vote. Would you have stayed loyal to him? The game is over. You can tell me. He's never going to see this.
Even if he does, who cares? I would have cut him at final three. 100% would have cut him. There's no way I would have taken him to final two.
And so your ideal final two partner would have been, like, based on that final four?
The brothers, because I feel like I outsmarted them many times. But they're the winners.
So tell me what's next. You've played this masterful game. Obviously, like, all-star rumors will start swirling. But aside from the game, what's next for Cassandra?
Who knows? I'm going to go home. I'm going to like regroup, and it'll probably be like 2 days now. What am I doing next? But I don't know, maybe more. I would love to do more TV things, but we'll see what happens. I don't even know where to go from here. Like, this is my house. I have to go back to my real house.
Is this your pet right here? Or?
This is my pet.
Okay,
yeah, Marsha is my pet moose.
Yeah,
Really
I like
cute.
it.
Yeah, and that's where I actually used to sleep when I was at Have Not. In the
Wow.
corner there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm gonna wrap things up here with just like overarching. What do you think was the best part of your game?
I think it was that everything that I did take ownership when moves that I made were found out. I wouldn't lie about it. I would say, yeah, I did do that. But keeping the Freak Show a secret was a big part of my game. Like, there was another Unbreakable Blonde with Jared Kelsey and Rebel. They were so open about it, and that's why they were a target. Me, Tim, and Joel worked together. We were all strategic, and we were a voting block every single week and kind of controlled the votes there for a bit. And if we just could have won a competition, we would have won. And no one targeted us three because no one really knew about us.
There is some disparity, though. The third wheel was so apparent, whereas the Freak Show was sort of under the surface.
Yeah, 100%. And that was our strategy, that to make sure no one knew about it. So we never became a target.
Amazing, Cassandra. Thank you
so
so much.
much.
Thank you so much.